Hi, this is Ed Gregory for photosincolor.com, and today I'm going to be talking about why every photographer should be using a graphics tablet in their workflow. Theme tune. Dance there for you. So, this is going to be kind of a review and an explanation of why I think we should use tablets. It's not going to be a fully technical review explaining pressure sensitivity. There's loads of people doing that and they're amazing, so watch another video. This is going to be more about the emotional connection with it, the journey that you go on when using this, and how useful it actually is. So, I'm not going to be actually showing you things on my computer. If you want me to do that and do an actual tutorial on it, then give me a comment below and ask me those things and I'll make another video. This is just going to be talking about it. So, I'm using this Wacom Intuos Touch 5, which I now think is pretty similar to the Wacom Touch Pro Medium, I believe. So I'm going to be talking about this one, but also just about graphics tablets as a whole. So what are they? Well, essentially, right now you'll be using one of these or a mouse to move, your cursor around the screen and to move sliders and to paint things in Photoshop and Lightroom and do those things. What this does, it's like a pen that you would use on paper, but it does that on the screen. They might think, well, isn't that pretty basic and why would you need it? It is more powerful than that. It is phenomenal what you can do with this. I started working with one of these like 4 years ago, and it changed the way I edit and work on my computer forever. The way that I interact with my computer changed. The reason is this. This is all digital. Okay, and I'm a physical person. I'm a human being right here. And using a mouse is very disjointed. This kind of connects me to this digital world. And it feels like I'm a part of my image while I'm editing it. So it means that there's far more story and more of an emotional journey that I go on with my images. And that for me is the most important thing. So let's walk through a few things that these tablets do, and this one specifically with the Intuos range. So it has a series of buttons down the side. Now what you can do there is assign this to literally anything you want. It can be a shift key, an alt key. It can open a brush. It can change your white balance. You can choose it to do pretty much anything you want it to be by assigning keystrokes to it, which is amazing. Now the next thing that you have is this here, which is like this wheel, okay? It's like the old school iPods, we used to be able to scroll through everything. Now you like swipe on the screen, but that's kind of how they work. Well, this is the same thing. And it also has a button in the middle. The button cycles through 4 different options, and each one of those options can make the wheel do something different. So literally, you can just be sitting there working and you can scroll through like this, like literally rubbing your finger on the wheel and make your brush bigger or smaller, or changing the opacity, or changing the flow, or changing the feathering on something really quickly and really easily. And that's just some basic things you could do with it. You could assign anything to it. So literally, you can be writing an email and change your text size using that. I wouldn't suggest doing that, but you could do. So that's the basics of the buttons down the side. Now the other thing that you can do, so this is the main area. Now, with this pad, if you touch here, okay, in the middle, now that's wherever your mouse is currently. And if you was touching the corner, it's still wherever it is currently. The way that this works is, this is your screen. So if you touch here, this is for you guys, the top right of your monitor. This is the bottom left. This is the middle. So as soon as you put your pen on it, the mouse jumps to that area, which means that you're actually working within the screen, which is amazing. Now, this has amazing pressure sensitivity. So the harder I push, it's like a pencil. The harder you push on a pencil, the darker it is, the lighter. So you can essentially, just by painting on here, you can affect the flow and the opacity and all of these things amazingly, like you are drawing on a book or a pen or painting with watercolors. Phenomenal and massively powerful. But what else can you do? This is what's amazing. I use the pen, so I'll be going like this. But also, I can use my finger and it knows if I'm using my finger or using this. When I'm using my finger, it works exactly like the trackpad. So it's from where the mouse currently is. You can also do the the zoom, the pinch, the rotate, and everything as you would do on here. So it means that essentially you can be working, then you could go on to doing this. And I actually barely use this. A downfall for this though, tone curve in Lightroom. This is terrible for the tone curve. It really makes it jump all over the place. So I still have to use this, which is a frustration. So please, Adobe, fix that. So there's also wireless connectivity. I can actually unplug this and it comes with a little wireless connector, which I believe now it is wirelessly connected. I actually spilt a whole pint of beer on this years ago and it still works, but the wireless connectivity is a little bit funky. So I just plug it in and it makes things easier. So the pen itself, why is the pen so amazing? Well, it works like a regular pencil, so the harder you push, the darker it is. But you can also have different nibs on there, so it will feel like different things. Inside this little holder, you get a series of nibs. This actually has a spring on it, you know? And ones that feel like, say, charcoal, ones that feel like pencils or pens and thicker ones, which is amazing. But also on here, you have 2 buttons. So you could click, so I have one click that brings up the little box that allows me to change my brush size in Photoshop. So really quick here. The other button I have is the back button. So rather than Control-Zing all the time, I just hit back and it steps me back in Photoshop. But also, the other end, literally turn it around, you can rub something out. It just works as a rubber, which is hugely powerful. So I use the Wacom tablets, and honestly, I have never used another one, so I can't judge it on another one, but it changed the way that I work. My processing time was cut in half, literally in half, by using one of these, because I could use things more quickly. Also, your wrist, clicking on that mouse or clicking on this thing, I would get a sore wrist. This will save your wrist. And also, click, 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 no more clicking. You don't hear it, it's almost silent, which is amazing. And I'm just gonna look through making sure that I have touched on everything. I actually have touched on everything there. The main thing that I want to get across here is this. It means that you are now physically more connected to the digital world of your photography or your manipulations or your graphics, whatever you do. It means that you feel more connected. And it means that as you're doing it, you're adding more of you to your images. And for me, that is worth every single penny, every single time. Anyway, that's my little kind of review of this. Any questions, put it in the comments. And if you want me to make a tutorial on how to actually use it, I will make one if enough people request it. This is my first kind of review, so if you have any thoughts about the way that I did this, then please let me know as well, because I will try and improve in the future. Anyway, this is Ed Gregory for photosincolor.com. Oh yeah. Done.